Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin in the last few days continues to move around the 29.5 and the 30.5K levels. That really confirms my view that we are still in a wave 4, maybe just completed it, but the wave 4 is really boring and it is just a consolidation phase. So the wave 4 is often not very steep and therefore it is so boring because it pretty much is just a range market. So we can take a look at that in a minute on the chart. Overall, we can see that crypto market is following pretty much. Yeah, we don't see any surprises in the top 10, top 20, top 30. No, not really. There's nothing crazy going on here. Let's take a look at look into Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, which is highly relevant to the current market conditions. What I find very interesting is that this now shows 8. Even though the price didn't drop much more, but 8 is really, I think, the lowest I'm aware of it has ever dropped, which doesn't mean it couldn't have dropped a little bit lower, but 8 is already really low. Yeah. Here, for example, this was in March 2020 when COVID hit, we had a score of 8. Then the price dropped a little bit lower and we hit 9, but it is already really low. A few days ago it was only at 10 to 12. So why it now dropped to 8, I can't say, but it has. And this just shows that there is a lot of fear in the market. By the way, the extreme fear phase is not only like that in the crypto market. We can also find it in the stock market at the moment. They do look very similar, these fear and greed charts across the different markets at the moment. So this is really interesting. And it is a bit of a counter indicator, isn't it? So normally when you get into the extreme fear phases, you can be certain that here at some point it's going to turn around and we're going to go back into a mode of rising prices. However, I just need to... Okay, as you can see here, that was back in after the last bull market, 2017. We also came down here in a score all the way down to 1413. And then we had a last major dip. Now, if that was already that major dip here or if it's still coming, I can't tell you. My view is there will be another, at least a small dip. Yeah, doesn't need to be a significant dip, but it should take us below 25K, below the previous swing low, which is a little bit different on different exchanges. So let's take a look at, or before we finish here, all of these or most of these indicators that we have here that are shown on lookintobitcoin.com. They are long-term indicators, and most of them currently flash long-term buy signals, which means that in the long run, had you bought at similar levels before, not necessarily price levels, but at similar levels on these indicators, and most of these currently flash buy signals, you would have been really, really well off in the next bull run. So this is just something to point out. I'm not telling you to buy, but these indicators are flashing buy signals. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. We did come into the target area here that we expected. It was a journey. It was an adventure. Now we are finally in the target area. My view is that all of this here was just a large correction that has been ongoing now for over a year, an A, B, C. And now in the very, very small scale, where are we? Here in the yellow target area. And I think a very, very logical support level would be here the 22K level. That's a 200-week moving average. 200-week moving average. That is a level to which Bitcoin usually retraced to in a bear market. Yeah. Pullback to a moving average, pullback to a 200-week moving average. In the last video, I already outlined here that we possibly have completed here this 4th wave. So we are currently here in a 5-wave impulse to the downside, which within that leg down here, within that C wave, which is coming down here, we are in a 5th wave. And in this 5th wave, we are in a 4th wave, or maybe completed it already. That is what I can't tell you yet. But we had a 4-week possibly peak here at, where was it? At around 31.3, 31.4K. And now the impulse down, the last wave down, the 5-wave move could have already started with a 1-2. That is speculation at this stage. We don't have any confirmation yet. We are still in the pattern. And as long as we are in this ascending wedge, which is a bearish pattern, which would actually confirm my wave count here. But as long as we are in the wedge, we could without a problem also retest the resistance again, and then would invalidate this wave 2 again, and then would not need to start again. So it's a bit of speculation now if that last wave down has already started. But my view is here that we are in a wave 4. Bear in mind the wave 4 can also max out the entire target area here. So we don't know yet. This is to give us orientation where the price can turn around, to make assumptions, and a very high likelihood would be for a turnaround here in this yellow target area to the downside, and to finish off the overall larger correction as well, because this last wave 5 down would finish off the overall correction of Bitcoin, in my opinion, yeah, and that could go down to 22k. So as I said, it could really be that we are now here already in the wave 1, maybe complete, wave 2 now to the upside. This is what probably the next few hours will show. I mean, we make here a series of higher highs, higher lows in the ascending wedge, in this sort of bear flag, and we just need to wait now if the price reacts here to any of these Fibonacci levels. So we've already seen a small reaction to the 61.8% Fib level without a problem. If this was a wave 2, it could also get to 30.9k or 31.1k. Absolutely without a problem. So we can, in this, if this is a wave 2, certainly expect slightly rising prices before we then come down in a wave 5. That is currently what I think is the most likely scenario. And even if we break out of this ascending wedge to the upside, we would still have space in this yellow target area all the way up to 34.3k to fulfill that wave 4. Only when we get above that, we might have to talk about a different Elliott Wave count, because then other options might get a bit more likely. So it remains a bit boring at the moment again, which I don't mind, because the last couple of weeks have been really turbulent. They have been really difficult as well, and challenging and fast. So I don't mind a little bit of a more relaxed move at the moment. But bear in mind, when this explodes, then we have probably another, if it goes to the downside, we'll probably have another capitulation here, which will hurt a lot of the altcoins. And actually it's quite good. If we see a bit of sideways movement, it should help the altcoins a little bit. Some of them are recovering slightly, which is good, not fast really, but they are recovering, because a lot of them were really at very low levels. So it's not a problem if they recover a little bit, because they need to build a buffer, ideally, before lowest support levels and the current price, in order to defend further price decreases from Bitcoin, yeah. And as I said before, the low could theoretically already be in. I don't think it is. I think we are going to see another move down. This here does not look bullish. It's not a bullish movement. It looks corrective at the moment. Also, we don't have the volume. Therefore, I think we are still going to see that move down. And also, what you often have when you can look at prices like that, or charts, and you have a long wick that goes down like that, they do often get filled still. So we had a situation when we came down here in December with a long wick to the downside, which eventually got filled here. So yeah, overall a little bit boring, but we can't go on in this descending or in this ascending wedge forever. So there will be some sort of a stronger move soon. You can even see on the volume indicator on the daily here how volume is decreasing. So typically when that is the case, when you have decreasing volume, you after that see a spike in volume again. We had it here as well. Not a massive spike, but it usually then breaks out to the upside again, yeah. And that is normal when you are in a wedge pattern like that, because it sort of is just restricting Bitcoin's price move, and people are waiting until there is a breakout to get in or make their decisions, right? Okay, so that is my view here about Bitcoin at the moment. I'll keep you updated even in a wave 4, which might be a bit boring. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership and maybe even the trading course I'm currently offering on morecryptoonline.com. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.